Yeah. Yeah. Hey, yo. Urban Therapy with Sun Show. I'm your host, 752. Are y'all ready? Let's have a little talk today, y'all. Let's have a little talk today, shall we? Let's have a little talk. Today, for the Urban Therapy with Sun Show. First of all, I want to welcome all of y'all to the Urban Therapy with Sun Show. We are talking about, does race matter when you need help? Race, prejudice, when you know that somebody doesn't like you and your people, or you based on your people, will you still accept help from them? Does it matter? And when you really get to thinking about this, initially, a lot of y'all might say, no. If I know that you are straight out racist and all of that kind of stuff, I'll get my own. I'll do this, blah, 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 blah. But you never know what kind of situations that you may find yourself in. And when we talk about needing help, and when we start talking about what help is and how it works, then we put ourselves in a whole lot of different scenarios than we may give ourselves credit for. So this is something that we want to think about. We gonna push the mental capacity to the limits and see what's going on. Because when you are in need, you are in need. When you need help, you need help. When you're desperate, you're desperate. And hopefully you're never in a position where you feel like you're desperate. But you can find yourself in some predicaments where desperation just might be the order of the day. And I hope that you will be able to avert that. But you might not be able to all the time. Flat tire on the side of the road. Flat tire on the side of the road, baby. You ain't got no jack. You ain't got no jumper cables. You ain't got no spare. You ain't got no nothing. And it just may be the case where you might be the racist yourself. You might be the type of person that's prejudiced. You might be the type of person that doesn't want to ever affiliate yourself, associate yourself, or deal with anybody from a particular ethnic background, racial background, cultural background, or something like that. So you can be the type of person that's actually the racist. So we normally think about this thing in reverse. We normally think about it in terms of us being the victim of racism. Being a black person, that's often the case where we are the victims and we are on the receiving end of what racism is. So that's true. But in this conversation, we're not just talking about us being the ones who are in need. There have been plenty of times when people, white people or people of other races, may have been in position to be racist and to show prejudice, openly show prejudices in their personal lives. But oftentimes those people find themselves in situations where it may be life or death for them. In the case, for example, of a blood transfusion or kidney transplant or something like that. Do you think that a white person, maybe even a member of the KKK or a skinhead or a neo-Nazi, do you think that they would refuse a kidney if they needed one? Do you think that they would refuse a heart or any other organ if they needed one to sustain their lives? Do you think that they would care? Do you think that they would ask? Do you think that it would be a main concern? Imagine, imagine you had me having really bad kidney disease and having to go through dialysis and all that kind of stuff. And anybody who has ever suffered from kidney failure or problems related to the kidneys knows that that is a pain in the pee, basically. So imagine going to your health providers and saying, well, listen, I need this kidney, but I need y'all to do me one favor and make sure that the kidney that I receive is from a white person, because I don't want no black kidney in me. I don't want no gook kidney in me. I don't want no spick kidney in me. I don't want no other kidney in me except for a white-blooded European American, and mostly just American, not no European. Can you imagine that? Well, I imagine that some people probably would even go as far as to say that. But when it really all came down to it, if if you made a request like that, I don't know if they would even honor it. There may even be some civil rights violations just for asking for a request like that. There may be. So, but if they did honor it, because look, the doctor you may go to may feel the same way that you do. If they did honor it, can you imagine? Can you imagine a, a kidney becoming available or whatever organ that you need becoming available and them saying, well, but it came from a black woman or it came from a black man. So I understand if you don't want to use the kidney, but that's the only kidney that's available right now and it's readily available. Like we can throw that thing in tomorrow. What do you think he or she would do in a situation like that? I mean, they might try to flip it and say, well, yeah, give me that nigger kidney. They ought to just, they ought to, it takes me back to a different time where, they would have had to have given Massa a kidney. So I don't know. Whatever the case. I don't know. I don't know. What do y'all think? What do you think that an outright bleeding heart racist would do in a situation like that? Do you think that they will refuse a kidney, a heart, a liver? Who can say? T. Carey Wright says reparation kidney. My lord, reparation kidney. Oh my goodness. So would the kidney be free? That's my reparations. You kept me alive. You know what I mean? I'm about to let bygones be bygones. T. Carey Wright, what's going on? Morning, noon, and night. And also Stacy White, thanks for coming on through. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all on this Sunday afternoon. What's good? T. Carey Wright says they would take the kidney or any other organ. I think so too. I'm pretty sure. Well, I would put good money down that they would probably put their racist practices and feelings and their prejudices aside in order to continue and sustain their own life, to save their own neck. I'm sure, or in this case, to save their own kidney, pee. They would probably go ahead and take that kidney or whatever. And I think that's the smart thing to do. That's the smart thing to do. But the reasoning behind taking that kidney, meaning because you would take their kidney, or he or she would take their kidney in order to sustain their own lives, it makes me think about business. And I don't think any of us openly would volunteer to work for a company that we knew practice, were known for racial hiring practices. Let's say it was a situation where there was a job available, and it was a job in your field, and it was a good paying job, and it was a job that had a lot of upsides as far as opportunities for advancement, growth, elevation, promotion, all that stuff. Good benefits package too. Exceptional. Like I'm paying almost nothing for health insurance. This is crazy. But you knew that they only hired you for the position because they had to. Maybe the EOC, equal opportunity employment. EOEC. Wait a minute, equal opportunity employment. Yeah. Or is it the EEOC, equal employment opportunity? I don't know. Anyway, y'all know what I'm talking about. If you knew that they were only filling that position with you because they had to. Now, there's no doubt that you're qualified. It wasn't a favor they're doing for you. You definitely fulfilled the requirements. You were definitely the right person for the job. But what do you think they would do? I mean, I'm sorry. What would you do? What would you do if you were going to be one of the only black people that were there and they were filling a quota? But at least they filled the quota with the good people, with the right people, with the people that weren't going to make them look bad, that were actually going to help them out. But you knew damn well that before you couldn't get hired at this company, like years before, you couldn't get hired at this company because they froze black people out. This was the IBM. This was the IBM, and I'm not saying that IBM openly practiced racism with their hiring practices, but you know, it used to be a running joke by comedians about, you know, the only job that a black man could get at IBM was pushing a broom and, you know, working as a janitor. It is the EEOC. Okay, that's what's up. Good looking out, Queen Monica. Appreciate that. Savoy, build and destroy. What's going on, Savoy? How you doing, Savoy? And Savoy says, aren't they trying to harvest our body parts anyway? Yes, but they're doing that for sale. You know, when it starts to get personal, that's pretty much what we're talking about today. When it's a personal thing. Sure. You know, even slavery wasn't personal. It was business all day, every day. And that's what a lot of people don't like to learn about or accept about slavery. It was really business. It was business. So besides the mental and emotional conditioning, besides the brutality, the biggest part of racism was money. Slaves themselves were not expensive. I mean, were very expensive. They were not cheap. They were not affordable. That's why your regular working 9 to 5 or whatever, however it was set up, white man did not own slaves. Rich white men owned slaves. They were the only ones that could afford slaves. Slaves were not cheap. Not cheap at all. So anyway. So yeah, they'll harvest our organs, target us to be able to catch us and harvest our organs. However, that's for the money. But putting them on the other side, if they needed a kidney, if they needed a heart, if they needed a liver or any other organ, they probably would say, I don't care if it's a black chink, spick, I don't care. Look, listen, give me that thing. Is it working? Did y'all test it? You know what I mean? Throw that thing up in me. Probably. Now, I can't speak for each individual or every individual. So I'm sure that there will probably be some that would say, nah, I'll die. I'll die before I'll die before I. And trust me, y'all, we ain't done. We're just touching the surface. The surface of what we're going to be talking about today. We got some things we need to talk about. Because when we talk about life or death situations, sure, we can speculate on what we would do or what we wouldn't do. And we can definitely speculate on what somebody else would do and what they wouldn't do. But until you find yourself in those situations, until you found yourself on the side of the road and you need help or you run out of gas because let's say you was driving through Alabama. You was driving through Alabama and you was scared. You was scared to pull over and get some gas. Like you was trying to get through Alabama. Like, please, do I have enough gas to get to Georgia, Georgia? Please, do I have enough gas to get me to Louisiana? Do I have enough gas to get me to Florida? Do I have enough gas to get me to Mississippi? Do I have? Not that those other states are any better, but you know, Alabama goes. Alabama. I haven't heard too many people from Alabama say that Alabama wasn't as bad as people say it is. Now, I'm not saying that nobody has ever said it, because you know our people will say anything out of their mouth. But I don't know too many people, black or white, that has said that Alabama wasn't as prejudiced, wasn't as racist, wasn't as bad, wasn't as racially divided as people. Like all that stuff, that was back in the day, man. Montgomery ain't like that no more. Mobile ain't like that no more. Any of them other places in Alabama, because I don't know a lot of cities and towns in Alabama. But I ain't heard too many people say. I've heard people say that Mississippi's still burning, but it ain't burning like, you got to think that Mississippi was mostly black anyway. You know what I mean? People be like, you got to understand, as bad as Mississippi was, jazz and blues was born out of Mississippi. How bad could it have been? There's a case for rock and roll was born out of Mississippi. There's a case for it. If you take, because rock and roll was born out of jazz and blues. So anyway, but yeah, Alabama. So maybe let's say you were driving through Alabama trying to get to another state and you ran out of gas in Alabama. Oh no. It might have been like, hey boy, what you doing there on the side of the road? Like you obviously wasn't just, taking a piss or a pit stop or pulling over the rest. What you think I'm doing? But you might not want to say something like that. So, it might influence your decision to accept help from this guy, because he might be helping you to get out of that state. Because it might have been you might have been caught in one of them sundown towns, and you just happened to find one of the sundown citizens that was more willing to help you get up out of there than to make sure that you stayed there for life. Or should I say your soul stayed there? You know what I mean. So that probably wouldn't be a good time to be like, listen, man, get your racist ass away from me. I got a cell phone. I'm about to call somebody on you. Well, boy, you better be calling the Lord. But the Lord sent me over here, and I'm just in the mood today to do a good deed. The angels have descended on you, and I just happen to have a jack. I just happen to have a spare. I just happen to have an air pump, and I just happen to be in a good mood to help your nigger ass. I wouldn't normally do that, but I see that you have a lady in there, and you got children in the back, and it's actually, pulling at my you're warming my nigger heart. So won't you help me get this stuff out of the back, and so I can get your car up and get you on out of here. You might accept that help. That might be a good time for you to put your prejudices aside, your fears aside, and everything else. Just accept this help, even if he's just trying to, get you to another place where you might get even more messed up. At least you have the choice and the gas and all that kind of stuff. Because, oh yeah, I forgot I got a gas can too. It just happens to have some gas in it, just enough for you to get to the gas station. I don't even know I laughed like that. There ain't no such thing as a Southern laugh. But anyway, But anyway, TK right says kidnapping or kids and young adults for organs. Yeah. 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 Stacy White says, I heard that this famous designer was racist, and I do not choose to buy their purses. I'm glad you brought that up. Because there have been rumors for years about like Tommy Hilfiger, recent developments about Gucci, the store H&M. Wait, is H&M a store or is it a company? I don't know. I've never bought any of the stuff, but I know this. That with the exception of certain individuals, you cannot stop our people from still soliciting and supporting and giving all their money to designers who have claimed to have racist feelings. Liz Claiborne was one. Who else? I don't believe that Louis Vuitton actually was one. They're more. They've been cited more for trying to feminize our young men, like with Jaden Smith, and the whole dress thing. They found the right one for that because that boy is soft as a marshmallow. It might be a little softer than that because when the marshmallow get hard, like when the marshmallow get hard, that thing be a little tough, a little tough. But anyway, in business, in business, would you work for a company that only hired you because they had to fill a certain racial quota? Would that matter to you? I mean, because many of us might take the stance that, well, it ain't how you get in, is what you do when you get there. And many of us might be like, well, yeah, they hired me just because I was black, but I'm going to open the door for other blacks as I move up in the ranks, because I'm going to move up in the ranks. Because the same way they had to let me in is the same way they have to let me up. I think you're fooling yourself with that. But you never know. Just because the company itself may have practiced racism, racial profiling, racial practices in hiring practices, it doesn't mean that every individual white person or whatever is a racist. It doesn't mean that somebody may not have the ability to help you get a little farther. So would that influence you to go forward? Like, this company racist, man. They don't want you, like you, value you. What say you? Would you do it? Would you do it? And it's okay if the answer is no. And it's okay if the answer is yes. Now, I know a lot of people that would say no, they wouldn't do it. I'm not so sure I would do it. Years ago, I would have said I definitely would not do it. But I had to switch it to I'm not so sure that I would do it, because you don't know when a company has racist practices until you really get there and see it for yourself. And that's when you can be sure. So you might do it involuntarily. But my question was, would you do it with the knowledge of it? Like, if you already knew or had heard that that's how they do, would you go there? Yeah. A lot of us say that we wouldn't, and a lot of us would, because we'd be like, yo, that for the money, I'll do whatever. I'll deal with racists for the money. Shoot. Racism is about money. That's what a lot of people would say. And you know how our people are. We rationalize anything. Well, if I can do this over here, then why wouldn't I do it over there? It don't matter. That's what we do. We rationalize. We somehow find a way to do the things that we want to do. Which brings me to another question. Another question based on race. Does race matter when you need help? Well, this might not sound like a situation when you need help. Like when you need a job, you need help. When your car breaks down, your house needs repair, whatever, you need help. You need help. We could talk about racist contractors and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Would you let them, if they were cheap enough, would you let them fix up your home? Or if you don't like Mexicans, but Mexicans work cheap, would you let them add on that extra room? Would you let them cement your porch? Would you let them build your steps? Would you let them put on your roof? Something to think about. You know, like, no, I ain't letting them wetbacks come nowhere near my house. I don't even eat tacos. That's the way you might feel. But the price is right. Does it change things? It might. Now, here's another area of need that you may not take into consideration as being an area of need all the time. I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all know my allergies are low. My allergies are sex. A lot of people don't look at sex as a need, but it is. It is, and it definitely can be, even if you don't believe that it is inherently. But a lot of people will say, well, you know, I wouldn't like. Listen, man, I love my black brothers, but they are weak for white pussy. You know it, I know it. They are weak for white pussy. Just a fact. So, you know, there are millions and millions of black men that will say, well, you know, my dick get hard. It don't care. I don't care what she is. She cute, whatever. So, and also for love, because everybody needs love. Everybody needs love. So, would that be your excuse for interracial dating? But I'm about to sweeten the pot, though. Hold on. I'm about to sweeten the pot a little bit. Let's say you had walked, slipped, and fell in love with someone of a different race. You didn't mean to. At least that's what you told everybody. You didn't mean to fall in love with him. It just happened. You know, love has no race. It has no color. It has no nothing. So you fell in love. What if you were dating a white person and they treated you well and you were deeply in love with them too, but you knew that they came from a family that was very racist? Like, you had heard their family was on some other shit. Maybe they had even committed crimes against black people. But Susie likes you. Brad adores you. Megan wants you. And John, well, you know, John has always had a thing for you. Well, you got a thing for John too. You got a thing for Megan too. How far would you be able to take it if you knew that she couldn't even introduce you to her family members? Got a stem there. She or he couldn't even introduce you to their family because her family or his family was not going to accept you in any way. Like, nope, I can't believe you brought this tar baby up in here. You brought him or her to the barbecue? We used to barbecue them ourselves. But remember, you deeply in love with this person. So what would you do? How would you handle it? And you know, many Black people have found themselves in this position where they had to make this choice. Would love conquer all? I said, would love conquer all? Or would you get tripped up and say, I can't go no farther with this? What would you do? Stacey White says, everybody's not free in their heart. Megan and John better bag back? What does that mean? What does that mean, Stacey? Megan and John better bag back. What does that mean? But anyway, like I said, a lot of people have found themselves in this very position. So what do you think that you would do? If you knew that somebody's family were full of races, but you were in love with them, they were in love with you, what would you do? How would you handle it? How would it go? What would you do? How would it go? What would you do? It's not the easiest question that you can come up with. But these are some of the things that happen. These are some of the problems that we face. You know, when we are dealing with what we would do or what we wouldn't do when it comes to race. You know, they family don't like Black people. Would you say forget their family? What if they told you that? What if they told you, well, I don't have to be around my family anymore. I don't care about my family. This is me and you. So you wouldn't have to worry about that too much. White people or people of other races don't have to worry about that too much with Black families, because Black families will let anybody come in. Look, anybody want to argue with me about that? Feel free. We let anybody in. I ain't never heard of nobody getting pushed out of a Black family because they married nobody. Just saying. We've been known to be very inclusive when it comes to love, and especially when it comes to the kids. You know, your little chink kids, let them on in. Little mixed kids, let them on in. Little white kids, let them on in. Everybody is protected up in this fam. Yo, you are me, I am you, we am, we are, fam. Yo, you know how it goes. Yo, ain't no scam being running on anyone. I'm gonna show you love. We gonna make sure that we fit like a glove. If my son loves you, my daughter loves you, no one is above. Who do you think you are trying to act like that ain't my grandpa? You know how it go. You know how it be. You know, we gonna see. Stacey say, okay. What about religion? Well, we're not talking about religion because we're talking about race. You know, we can talk about religion another day. You know, I mean, tell you what, we'll touch on it a little bit. When it comes to religion, there are only two religions in the black family that you have to worry about. It's either Muslim or Christian. Even if you Hebrew Israelites, you know, they don't be acknowledging that. So your grandmother might not, you know, think that you're going to heaven because you running around here talking about all praises due to Allah. But more than likely, out of respect for your grandmother, you gonna eat the greens with the hog maws in it, the pork ribs, and well, let me just put it this way. I've seen a lot of people de-Muslimize themselves just for grandma. Just for grandma. Now, people have gotten a little bolder over the years, but I've seen them definitely dumb it down for Nana, my mom, me mom. You know what it is. You know what it is. But back to the whole race thing. Shoot. Whether we talking about love, whether we talking about sex, whatever, you know. Shoot. You be hard pressed to find a lot of black men that'll be like, no, I wouldn't even have sex with a white girl. I'm not saying that there aren't any, because they are, but you be hard pressed because they far and few in between. And even the ones that would say that they wouldn't, put them in a situation where they think that they can get away with it without nobody knowing, and see what happens. See what happens then. Remember, even the late great Malcolm X was heavily into white chicks before he found knowledge himself with the Nation of Islam. So you could say, well, yeah, that was before then, but shoot, you ain't gonna tell me that you've messed with multiple white women and all of a sudden they just totally turn you off. You ain't gonna tell me that, but hey, I can't speak for everybody and I won't even try. Can't speak for everybody and I won't even try. Let's just acknowledge what we do know. And what we do be knowing is that this fly got to go, you motherfucker. Yeah. So anyway, when you are directly faced with certain situations, money, love, sex, what other forms of help, how strong do you stand? Do you stand strong in your stance, in your opinion, in your feelings, on your laws, your rules, your regulations? Do you stand strong, or do you weaken? Or I don't want to say weaken because that's going to make people start lying. Do you relax? Do you relax your principles until you can have them strong again after you become strong? How about that? I mean, what do y'all think about the way I put that? Huh? Do you stand strong, or do you wilt, melt under the pressure? Holla at me. Does race matter when you need help? When they giving out, when they cutting checks and when they giving out money, does it matter? And shout out to all the black people who act like they don't know or wasn't sure or they don't believe certain things when they are in need or when it applies to them. Well, I heard they was racist, but I never got any proof about that. Where's my money? Where's my money? If y'all cutting checks, I want one. Make sure y'all hit that like button, y'all. Make sure that y'all share the show. Make sure that y'all subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. This is the Urban Therapy with Sun Show. I'm your host, Sun752. And we just kicking it a little bit. Talking about, does race matter when you need help? Does it? Does it matter? Do you stand strong in your stance? You know, whether you are the racist, the prejudiced one, the principled one, whatever, or when it's going against you, but you are in need. Oh. Yeah. Do you stand on your racial principles? Do you? Stacy says everybody's not free in their heart. Oh, I didn't read that before. Pussy. Got him too. Fuck. I fucked my wrist up doing it. Bitch ass. Sweetie, get. That's what you get. That's what you get for fucking with me. That's what he get. He didn't realize how fast I was. I'm telling you, man, my wrist ain't shit no more. Shit. Ow. I'm gonna pay for that one. Ow. I say ow. 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 If y'all only knew how happy I was to get that fly. My day is made now. I'm good. Anything y'all want to do, just holler at me. I'm good, baby. We straight. Okay. All right. Okay. Does race matter when you need help? You're awfully quiet. Y'all thinking about it? You know, we talk about what our expectations of our children are. You know how a lot of black mothers have said, if she can't use your comb, don't bring her home. If she can't use your comb, don't bring her home. Well, a lot of black men have brought home Susie who couldn't use his comb, I guess. She couldn't. I don't see any reason why she wouldn't be. But anyway. And how did it turn out? Y'all know for the most part, it's turned out pretty well. Especially when it comes to the kids. When the grandkids start popping out. The whole game changes. Stacy says you have to stay prayed up because temptations are something else. She also says blue-eyed devil is something else. Well, listen, look at you. TK Wright says it depends on the situation. Race matters when it's a situation when the other party will have control or input in your life after they help you. That sounds understandable to me. That's understandable to me. So, but how do you handle it personally? You know, conceptually, we can talk about a whole lot of things. But when it gets personal, in real time, we got to make those decisions. That's when we have to buck up or shut up. TK Wright says race matters when okay, wait. Stacy says, don't be entertaining nobody who you ain't got no business entertaining. Well, who decides that? Who decides who you have any business entertaining? It's probably you. And when you feel the way you feel, do you care about the way other people feel about it? Does that matter? Should it matter? Stacey, right? You said you're the one who determines that. Okay. So, what if you have decided that somebody of a different race is the one for you, but your family, your friends, your social circle, they all like, we don't do that. You don't want to do that. That's not a good thing. Blah, 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 blah. Would it matter? Should it matter? Does it matter? Would it matter? Could it matter? Does it matter? Should it matter? Should it matter? Yes, no, maybe so. Yes, no, maybe so. Yes. Yo, how about this is random. This is random. I just found out that the schools in Philly was closed. I didn't realize they got out. It's definitely late. Yeah, I mean, they should have. Most of them have probably been out for a couple of weeks. I didn't know. I knew these streets didn't seem as clogged up and as crowded as usual. Stacey White says, remember, I'm 52 and I've been running fast. What does that mean? What does that mean exactly? I'm just trying to understand your lingo. I just want to make sure that we're communicating on a level, on a level that we can both work with. That's all. I ain't trying to call you out. I'm trying to make sure that I can call you right. She says, it means I do not entertain stuff that I do not have. I yeah, got no business entertaining. Got no business entertaining. Money and love, money, love, money and love, money and love. That's what we struggle the hardest. You know what I mean? Racists offering you a couple of dollars. It's been practiced so many times over the years to separate us. And then, it's so easy to separate black people from each other. But the devil definitely knows how to separate you. Easily. He can separate anybody. The devil knows how to separate everybody. Anybody and everybody. As we were talking about interracial dating, interracial marriage, relationships, or whatever, it takes me back. It takes me back to when my dad was always saying that, in the Catholic religion, they've always said for centuries, we only need the first 7 years of your life. The Catholics said we only need the first 7 years of your life. After that, we got you. And when he first told me that when I was younger, it sounded crazy. Because he said, if they get you for your first 7 years of your life, you might explore other religions, other ways of life, but you'll be back. Because that influence, that conditioning that they had over you and on you for that first 7 years of life will kick in. So you might become a Muslim. You might become a Jew. You might become an atheist, agnostic, pagan, spiritual. In the end, In the end, you'll come back to the Catholic religion. Probably somewhere around when the time you die. You're going to be back to the Son, the Father. I mean, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And I swear, my dad told me that when I was a teenager. And all my life, I've seen nothing but evidence of that being the truth. Amazing. Not Christian, Catholic. There's a difference. There's a difference. So, the reason I use that example and the reason I brought it up and the reason I think about it is because that's the same way that I see certain things playing out with race. People who get into interracial dating normally have always been on their path to going that way. You don't have too many people be like, oh, hell no, nope. You know, new people just decided, oh yeah, I'll try a white girl or a white boy. They don't normally go that way. They don't normally go that way. They've been keeping secrets all this time. As soon as the opportunity presented itself, boom, there you go. T. Carey Wright says, my family's input does matter. Stacey White says, the devil knows how to separate anybody. Where have I heard that? T. Carey Wright says, they may see intentions from other races that I don't. And if they're older, they may have more experience dealing with them. Stacey White says. Stacey White says, Omar, I found a rosary in my washing machine when I was watching. I hang the rosary over my head, over my bed. Would you just wanted to immediately prove that that my daddy was right? He said the first 7 years, that's all you need. So from 8 until you die, you're going to return back here. You'll be back to this parish. You'll be back to the church. The church. You will sprinkle the holy water. You will eat the bread. The body of Christ, I should say. You'll be back because we own you. We got you. We got you. First 7 years. That's all we need. The first 7 years. And we got you. Now, you know, I know a lot of white people who have gone to Catholic schools, and some of them are straight racist. I mean, not racist, I'm sorry, are straight atheists to this day. Or are they? Most of them had real problems with the way the nuns treated them. I'm just telling you the stories that I've heard. They've had real problems with the way the nuns were and the way that the nuns treated them. And these are white folks. Especially white men. White men be like, nah, that stuff they be doing in Catholic school ain't right. And I'm like, you know, you be like, well, what'd they do? What'd they do to you? What did they do to you? Evidently, there's some people who took those sexual assaults and those beatings quite personally. I guess so. If there is anything to take personally, I would say it would probably be in that realm. I would say that. TK right says the nuns were mean as fuck. Yeah. Well, you know, all that sexual frustration. You know what? I'm not even going to do it. I ain't even going to do it. You know what I am going to do? I'm going to do these birthday shout outs. I ain't going to do the other thing. I ain't going to do it. I ain't going to do it. Ain't going to do it. All right, y'all. We have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious June 25th, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them and making them feel special because they are special, because they are special, because they are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They get number one out the box, Joanne McChristian Jones. Happy birthday to you. And also Minetta McIntyre turning 50 years old. No relation, but what up, guys? What's going on? And also, Santa Cooper turning 37 years old today. And Rodriguez Urena Maria turning 30 years old today. And Sakia Brown turning 40 years old today. And Connie Greer, go get her, Connie Greer. Happy birthday to you. And Dania Carter, going all the way back to the 1992. My girl Dania Carter turning 52 years old today. And last but not least, going all the way back to the 1984, my girl Tina Denard. My girl Tina Denard. Happy birthday to you. I want to say happy birthday to all y'all. And I hope that today finds you all a good health, happiness, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And this goes out to each and every person born on this glorious June 25th, anywhere out there in the world, worldwide, internationally, and universally. All of y'all go ahead and turn up. But don't turn up too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. I rock out, rock on it, do the damn, the rock out, rock on it, do the damn, rock out, rock on it, do the damn thing. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind, and anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours, and remember, man, listen. Race, help, race, help, help. Does it matter to you what color somebody is, what race somebody is, what ethnic or cultural background someone is when you are in your time of need? Do you put your personal feelings aside until you can get out of your jam that you have found yourself in? I'm in a bit of a pickle, but I'm gonna do something with you. I said I'm in a bit of a pickle, but I'm gonna do something with you for now, and I'm gonna show you how I can put my personal feelings aside. Matter of fact, you are the one that resides in my heart. Favorite white boy, favorite black boy, favorite white girl, favorite black girl. You know how it go, and you know how we show our hand when it's time for a helping hand. I don't know. All right, man. Peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. I love y'all to death. Resuscitate y'all. Love y'all right back to life. We will be back tomorrow with another Daily Go Get 'Emism show. So make sure y'all come through. Make sure y'all holler at us. 7 p.m. tomorrow. I want y'all to have a great afternoon. You know what I mean? Don't finish having fun. Keep it going. Keep it going. So I said so. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to share the show. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. So Blog Talk, we gonna get you out of here. Yeah. And for my YouTubers, you know just how we do, but thanks for coming on through. See you on the other side, my boobers. Peace. On the other side, my boobers. Peace.